Dinah and I are hiking up Hamilton Lake Trail in Yoho National Park. We won't reach the lake, but instead we'll climb 400 meters above it to the top of Emerald Peak. Trees mostly obscured the views along the trail, but we had a great view of Hamilton Falls. It helped break up the monotony of the long hike up. I tried talking to the camera, but I flubbed it and didn't bother doing a retake. I meant to say warm and humid. 400 meters down and 800 to go, and it's a warm, hot day. Above us, woodpeckers hammered away at the trees. But we just kept hiking. As we neared the lake, we passed an avalanche slope, the first real break in the trees since we started out 2 hours ago. Before we reach the lake, we leave the trail and start climbing. Actually, it's more accurate to say we bushwhacked, but thankfully it didn't last long. Eventually, we broke out onto a talus slope. The way up the ridge is clear, but first we're going to head to a small spur to look at Hamilton Lake. After a quick view, we turned around and started up the ridge. As I waited for Dinah on the ridge, I studied our next objective, the false summit. It too is just a hike. Before reaching the top of the false summit, however, loose rock appears. But here we were delighted to find a natural staircase. Dinah didn't bother ascending the false summit. Instead, she simply walked around it. Rather than backtrack, I decided to scramble down. With the false summit behind us, we turned to the summit ridge. We're making our way to a notch at the south end. We passed some impressive pinnacles just after the notch. Here, travel is easy on the ridge, but we're soon in for a surprise. A pile of enormous boulders appears to bar the way. The only way to continue is to drop down between them. There appeared to be no way to climb out of the chasm, but I had to explore just in case. You never know. There's a tunnel up here. After I climb out of the tunnel, it's Dinah's turn. Below us, an avalanche slope extends all the way down to beautiful Emerald Lake. This will be our descent route, but first we have to make the summit of Emerald Peak.